All right, Racelogic World. We're going to jump on live here. We got Justin McRee, High Roller, on with us. Justin, appreciate you having you on tonight.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Uh, I know it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks for you. We'll give some people time to jump on here. I can. Nobody's on yet. They'll be jumping on, but man, I know you took that car Thursday or Friday and cut both ends of it off.
Man, we actually cut everything that has to do with the stock frame rail out from under the center section, everything, and we kept as much of it tied together as we could through the roll bar and the original chassis. And we actually we married that car to new frame rails on Saturday, and we got the frame rail. We started cutting everything, tearing everything apart. Late Thursday, and then got everything cut apart Friday. Got us a new chassis ready, new frame rails ready Friday, and we married them Saturday on the jig. Everything worked out good on that process, and um, we got it all put together, and then we had to get our engine, and we got a new engine, open motor from pre-built motor, but Dickens went through it and put a camshaft in it, made it legal for our rules down here. So we got that in. We had several other issues that we had. We needed a new rear end housing, new transmission, things there that we had to pretty much a complete car from the Thursday at 10 o'clock the week before that we had to be on the racetrack on Wednesday. So we made it all happen. We got a little behind there Thursday and with our hauling solution and had a distributor gear lock bust on us. So we didn't get to make any laps Thursday, but we overcame it, come through there on Friday and Saturday as well. So.
Yeah, you was telling me before we came on that you never even got one practice lap.
I never got one practice lap. We missed all the practice. We missed all the hot laps. We went straight into our B main on Friday, and where we started in there around 15th, 16th, 17th, something like that, and had to finish third and got to second. I give up a spot right there at the end to get to finish third because the motor trying to run a little warm on me, and I was a little nervous about that. Yeah, the built motor is a little more tedious on versus crate motor. I know people in the past inside of my class, I say, just don't even look at the gauges with a crate motor, it'd be all right. Well, that's not the case when you start talking about a built motor that's machined to perfection. So, give up a position there, and started 29th in the big show, and got rain delayed on lap 26, where we had already moved up into the fourth position. So, we was really spot on. We was really well set up for the race there on Saturday. But we got rain delayed. I'm thankful for them to let us try to race it out on Sunday, which we got just a snot. We made one small little fragment of adjustment, and it got us a little too tight. And I had to hurt my right rear tire a little early, and it took too long for it to come back in. And between that and just missing the gear ratio just a little bit with that open motor, just a few little variables there. But, like I said, I can't say enough about our whole group. We had a lot of adversity we had to overcome all weekend, and we done a good job of persevering and getting a good run out of that deal. Congratulations, like I said the other night, to Chad and his team. I know that race went a lot with him, with his Uncle James passing a few weeks ago, a month ago, which was a really good man. I loved Uncle James to death. He's always one that I stopped and had a conversation with, whether I had time to or not, and learned a lot from him. And he was a damn good man. So, if I couldn't win it, couldn't pull it out, there's no other person out there that I'd rather get it than be Chad and his group for his uncle.
Yeah, I knew that was a big deal. And another great Nationals weekend. I know it's the biggest weekend of the year for you guys, and I make the 9-hour drive myself every year. It's always worth it. I had to leave Saturday night, didn't want to, but work kind of put me to where I had to get on home instead of staying on Sunday. Kind of made me sick, but end up third. I'll use the second at one time, and like you said, you wasn't going to sit back and try to run second. You wanted to go for the win, and I think you made a move there at the end up third. Not trying to be second.
Yeah, we was locked in second there towards the end, and we had a last lap caution come out, and it was a one lap shootout to it. And I had been watching the outside group, but I was too scared to get up out there and go with it. But I didn't know if it was lap cars running the top or if it was people running and getting faster. And right before the caution come out, I'd seen a lap car. Chad was lapping a guy, and it didn't look like this fella jumped out there on the top to just kind of give him some room, and it looked like he got faster. But at that point, it was a little too late for me to make a move there. And then that last lap caution deal come out, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna try it. I don't have it in me to sit here and ride for a second. So I'll give up a position just to try to earn a position any day of the night. I'm not the best points racer. I go for the win."
Yeah. Well, it was a good run, and man, I know your business is crazy right now, and I'm sure after that race you've been really busy, so I appreciate you coming on about 15 minutes. I wanted to talk with, we announced last week that there's a 2022 class, street stock class in Littleton, North Carolina, and I've had some people ask me why we moved there. Me and you talked about it earlier in the year, and, we tried to do it at your shop a couple of years, but man, that's the busiest time of the year for you building cars, and you have to take a week off and try to get stuff done, and then another 3 or 4 days after we leave. And we just felt like this year it was better for us to move it somewhere else. So we decided, I had a guy who had been asking me for a couple of years. Jeff Kidd really came on and asked me, could we do it in his part of the world? So we worked out all the details, and we're going to do it in Littleton, North Carolina, January the 22nd and 23rd, I believe it is. Same weekend as last year, and I know the rules. We've talked about it a little bit this weekend and last week. Some of their rules are a little different in that part of the world, but I think what guys don't realize is that Johnny Pennell, that set fast time, it was fast all weekend, had some bad luck. You built that car new, so
Yeah.
the factory stock stuff is nothing new to you.
Well, at the end of the day, 90% of everything that we're doing is still based off of the metric chassis. And whether it's from the stock base or to a point to where we can really cut and move some points around and make things better, at the end of the day, we're shooting for the same numbers on every chassis. Just some we can make it easier by moving things, and some we can't. Some we have to spend a little more time on. So when it all comes down to it, we can. There's nothing that we haven't fooled with in the shop. I mean, from 4-link, 3-link to stock, leaf springs, anything that you can imagine comes to this door. I mean, we don't even get the light shininess of all the 4-link lake model suspension stuff that we fool with in and out, week in, week out. So I mean, we see it all. So overall, I feel like we can help any program. So from here to there, it's not going to be that much difference in what we're doing. I think the engine package, I've looked over a couple of things. Some of the motor packages, some of the rules on the suspension is a little more limited. Some of the classes are a little more opened up. But like I said, we're all trying to get to the same ending number. So it's nothing that I don't think we can't help.
Yeah. And there's still a lot of the Crate Racing USA out in North Carolina, South Carolina, and I don't know about over in Virginia and Pennsylvania. I think the rules are a little bit different, but that's what I told guys. Like, listen, we've been doing these 5 or 6 years now. We sold out every single class we've ever done, and we've helped from IMCA guys out in Las Vegas to to the Cruiser class down in your world. So, I mean, like you said, it's still a metric frame, and you still make the factory stocks to the kind of more the open rules with your street stock. So, I mean, I think we'll be able to help all guys.
Yeah, and something for some people to kind of keep an eye out for is that 50,000 to win here. Was it next month? We're in Batesville. That's one of the things that we're shooting for, and it's IMCA stock. That'll be our first time to really branch out into that with our own car. That's something that we talked a little bit about this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about between my guys this coming week, and definitely that's some kind of money that we want to race for. So we don't, whether it's our class or not, we're going to see what we can come up with and see if we can't, go be competitive with them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know we've had to adjust different parts of the country of, IMCA or IMCA stuff to, the more factory stock, Texas factory stocks, and even factory stocks in your part of the world. So, and like I said, a lot of people may not realize that you build and work on all types of cars, not just a street stock. I mean, it could be a factory stock or a Texas factory stock, or even late models or whatever. So I think the knowledge is there on any of it.
Yeah, we're actually young. We have a lot of youth in when it comes into stock cars. Man, I've been racing for this is my 21st season, and we started fooling with stock cars really around 2015. As the first year I ever built a car for my shop. We done a little bit of work a couple years prior, as far as setup wise and stuff like that. It's just we come on really strong there, 15 and 16, and we really never looked back on building these stock cars. But for years prior to that, we was building from 2010, which in 2012 is when I really named my first chassis. Is when we've been building late model cars up until this time. And we still got some late model cars that we work with, and we've got some on order right now as we talk. We got a lot of stuff happening. So we're young when it comes to the stock car, but I feel like we're far ahead of where a lot of people are. And I'm not going to say we always learn something new every time we go out, and we're always continuing trying to get better and improve and make our product the best that it is across the country. So.
Right. I want to throw this out real quick. He's a good friend of mine. Pat Fagan with Fast Shafts is watching, and he's been a long time supporter of what I do, and always gives away stuff. I had him on here a few weeks ago. He just said he appreciated what we're doing for the racing world.
We had a fast shaft in this weekend.
Do what now?
We had a fast shaft in this weekend.
There's your plug right there. Pat's a great guy. Like I said, he always gives away stuff. He don't even ask. He just sends me a daggum truckload of stuff and says, "Here, I appreciate what you're doing." He's always been a huge supporter of racing. So, so I appreciate what he's doing. But and I tell you this, Justin, and you probably don't really quite get it the way I do, but there's not a lot of people in the racing world that's willing to give out good information. And being at the level you're at, and you've always been a complete open book in these classes. And that's why I've kept doing them for 6 years, because, I think the first time we ever talked, I said, man, if and this, I've always said, if you're not willing to really give good information and help racers, and I don't want to do it, and I think you went way above and beyond.
There's no reason for us to have to lie or tell any of these men that's spending their hard money something that's not going to be what we would do. I mean, I don't have it in me. I don't have a bone in me to tell you something that's not right. If I felt like I was endangering my brand by, or our brand, even Racelogic, anything, by telling something that's false or negative, I need to step down and let someone else, be involved in it. But that's not who you are. That's not who I am. And that goes across the board with everybody that stands up there and speaks. I don't know of anyone that's saying one thing that's never been 100% truthful. There's times where we may not get as far in depth as we think we ought to get, but we try to get no further in depth with the group that we have in hand, if that makes sense. Because, we can go in and start talking about the most in-depth things on these cars and completely lose 20 of the guys in here that they may just need that little something simple to move them to the next level. And that's the thing, is we try to start out as far as, just the go-tos, the run-throughs, the look-ats, trying to get your car square, the right adjustments to make, the right parts to have on your car to get it to the point to where you're making the right decisions. People come to me every time we unload, hey, what I need to do here. I can't give you that answer. I can watch your car and give you an adjustment. But just going off of a scratch sheet, I really can't, because there's so many variables there that make what I'm trying to do accomplish so important that one or two things off there is going to give you a different effect than what I would tell you, than what my cars would do. So, I mean, no, I'm not. And when we do these classes, good and well, we're trying to work across the board. We got 3 or 4 guys that are throwing their information out and things that they do, because what I do might not work for everyone. It might not work for the roll pattern that you have. But, we're going to give you the do's and the don'ts of where to start, to understanding where your car is, to where you can communicate with whoever you're dealing with, whether that be me, whether that be Wade, whether that be anybody that just maybe not even affiliated with Racelogic, whoever your chassis guy is, teaching you better points to learn and how to communicate with that guy, so you can get better results week in, week out. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think that's why I think that's why we've been to every class. And I know it was a big move. We jumped to the Northeast, but I told you last year, I was like, man, them guys have been loyal to us. We've had them from New York, Pennsylvania, all up in that part of the world, come down 18.
I think it's a really good stop. I really do. I mean, we've been all over. We went as far as out to Vegas, and I still communicate with guys from that class, and even people that wasn't at that class that just heard about us. I think the North Carolina range is definitely. I mean, it's the capital of racing, stock car racing. So
Right.
I think it's a really good stop. It's we got a lot of people. I've got a couple cars that's up in the Pennsylvania areas. We've got a few customers around the Virginia and Pennsylvania on top of the cars that we have. So I think it's going to be a really good move.
Yeah, and we've added Steve Hendren this year, Hendren Racing.
Yep.
Which is huge. I mean, the guys, I know not everybody runs a crate, but man, he's an engine builder at the end of the day. So what he's going to bring to the table, he came through a crate late model class last year, and I can't say enough good words about him. Just a knowledgeable guy and loves to help. And he's on board this year. He's going to be there because him and Kate's not but about 3 hours. So they're coming in, and over the weekend talked to Andy Garrett from Profab Headers. So he'll be there one day. I'm not sure which day yet to talk headers, because I think especially in the crate world, well, in racing in general, I think headers is a big deal, and that's something we've never really got into, on the header side of it. So he'll be there, and along with Wade brings a lot of that Midwest. He does a lot of stock mount stuff, and just another guy that you just can't. 25 years building shocks. I mean, he ain't done it 25 years because he ain't good at what he does. So, and then Robbie Bilbrey, nobody has to even say anything about that guy there. He can get me lost in the first 5 minutes when he talks, as smart as he is. So, Dave Hammond, of course.
Oh yeah, each guy you got is worth the price of admission.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ben Baker, I mean, hell, he can talk about a leaf spring car to a drag car. I mean, he knows it all. And, Justin, something that I've had some questions on, I really hadn't asked you. There is some Camaro guys in that part of the world, I've noticed. So, I know every class we do, it's 90% street stock, metric stuff, but I know you guys always try to touch on some of the Camaro stuff too. And I know you started out running one of them and run well in it. So, I mean, I think we can help them as well.
Well, yeah, for sure. Hopefully by then, if everything goes good, we've got an ICA stock that we're trying to get situated. I'm not sure if it's, like I said, I'm not sure if it's going to be a car that I built from the ground up, or if it's going to be one that we're going to buy and modernize to our stuff to take out to that 50,000. Depends on what our time looks like over the next few weeks. And then my next thing is with the guys I'm driving for, we've been discussing it, building a leaf spring car for this cruiser rules down here. Is I think that the Camaro will definitely fit more into open motor rules, and I think there's a lot to be had, especially with some stuff that we've been hitting on with these metric cars that we just. We run into a few little snags with them with the metric cars that I don't think we're going to have the problem with when we go to with the leaf spring cars. So hopefully that's something we'll be in by the end of the year, and we can definitely transform some of that information into this class.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you always said you felt like it was you left something on the table with a leaf spring car that you wanted to see if you could try to make them, compete with a metric car.
And I feel like some of the stuff that we've touched on here lately is definitely bring that leaf spring car on, bring it alive.
Right. Well, like I said, we're going to have another good class that weekend, and we're going to fill it up. And I appreciate Buddy Isles is his name, and Jeff Kidd out there. I know you hadn't really got to meet them yet, but Buddy's giving us his shop to use, big beautiful shop.
Yeah,
we got about 3 or 4 2-proof lifts. We'll have cars there. We'll have a beautiful shop, and we'll have everything we need. I'm actually doing a crate crash class the week before in Tennessee, and my buddy Robert's going to stay up there for me and drive on up, and then I'll just fly back and forth. And then however you decide to get there, whether you fly, you're not really much on an airplane, I don't think.
No, I mean it wasn't too bad, but we'll just see. I think I've kind of got it worked out to where I can go up the day before and see some people that I need to see, on a yearly basis at least. And coming up through North Carolina, I can stop and, talk to everyone that I need to, and then shoot on over and get the class taken care of.
Right. A couple of shout outs here while we're on. We still got a lot of people watching. And you may or may not remember, James Parks came from Texas. He's been to about 6 of my classes through the years. He said it's going to be a long drive from Texas coming to North Carolina. Great guy. He's always supported me, and man, I always appreciate him, whether he really gets to make it or not. But and then
him just to pick me up on his way by.
Yeah, tell him come on by. And then Andrew Wallace, he said something about he'll see you guys in January. I'll bring some chips.
Oh yeah,
you remember the guy that brought the chips? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember him. I've been craving some actually.
Yeah, so he's definitely going to be there. And
yeah, he was one of the guys that we actually hit on a few things right off the bat that we may have fixed on his car right off the bat. Just talking about some, few small little points on squaring and things of that, and I believe that's where we kind of located some of his issues right off the bat.
And I think I may have told you, you may not even know. I know you've been so busy, I hadn't talked with you a lot, but Dave's building a new metric front clip for us.
Yes, I've been talking to Dave a little bit with it. So
he's going to I think he's about ready to powder coat it, and so we'll have a new metric clip there, which will really help what Dave likes to show and teach on the front ends. So, and then like I said, we'll have other cars there. So, going to be a great weekend. You got a lot of racing planned between now and the end of the year, Justin, before we get off of here?
Man, you know me, at least 1 or 2 a week.
All you can get in?
Yeah, all we can get in. We don't really – we kind of fly by night, but there's a couple of tracks around here that beat the schedule on you pretty hard, and there's a lot of tracks around our area that just you'll be scrolling through Facebook and see where they got a 2 or 3 or 4,000 wins. So we'll throw those in there when we can. But so I don't know. We really don't have a big schedule, but we try to keep people as alert as we can on what we're doing. But a lot of time it's week by week. But yeah, there's several big races still coming up over the next few months that we're going to try to tackle and get as many wins as possible.
Well, last couple of things, and I don't think he gets enough credit. Probably you'll probably agree. Rick's came on board with you here in the last year and really changed your program up. Smart guy, and I know he does a lot of. I'm saying this right. He does a lot of the business side of things for you which lets you do more of the consulting and stuff.
Yeah, and we're still trying to work all the do's and don'ts out there because it's still a pretty fresh program. Adding him and Eddie as well. We've got a full-time fabricator that he's kind of a do-it-all man. Eddie Runyons that's just as valuable to us as Rick is. Man, if it wasn't for those 2 men there, I don't know where I'd be at. We got another guy that we've hired on that works here with me and Eddie, pretty much full the time as well. And Derek Biles, it's from just keeping the shop organized and clean to going and getting us what we need to help keeping the cars washed. It's a whole uniform of of a shop activity right now. So, but we're finding where people work the best and what they want to do, and you know, the future is looking great. Next year is nothing going to be but just holy terror on the world. I can promise you that. It's we've come a long way from this time last year to now, and the future is looking great.
Well, good deal, Justin. I know you got that little boy you need to go play with. If
Yeah,
anybody got a
he was
last
in
minute
rare form
question,
a little while ago, so I hope he's either in a better mood or he's already hit the pillow.
right? Uh, Somebody asked if they wanted a high roller shirt. Them were kind of hard to come by, ain't they?
Yeah, man, they have been, because normally by the time I remember to order them, it's too late for the shows or whatever. But we're fixing to start us an apparel line. That's one of the things that Rick has on his schedule to do, to get that set up to where we'll have shirts on hand, and plus we're going to try to get set up to where you can order them straight offline to the vendor that we're using, to where you just, it may take a few days. You just tell them what size you need and you order straight through them, and it processes through us. But that's something that we're working on. That's where we have a couple of different style shirts, from consulting to just the high roller brand to my personal apparel as well. So whatever you want, just I'm gonna say in less than a month we'll have something going on that for people to be able to buy some apparel with our
Good
cool
stuff.
logos and different things like that.
Justin, and I tell guys this all the time. I know you're hard to get a hold of, as in you're busier than most people ever dream of in a million years. I know you turned a lot of that over to Rick. I think I'm saying that right.
Yes,
if they're looking for a new car and they're serious and they really need something, would you say Rick is probably the best to get a hold of initially?
Yes, initially, and something that we're still under our older high roller page, but that's fixing to be something that over in the next few weeks that it's fixing to be a whole new page for that, to where he is going to be the administrator on it. I'll be just kind of a part-time deal on it, where I can kind of see and go in and touch and make sure everything is processed correctly. But yeah, right now, if you can find Rick Castle on Facebook, or even even his phone number, it's a little bit different than mine. It's a 601-934-0002. Now, out of all respect, he has 3 children, so try to keep it between the 8 and 6 o'clock in the evening. 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening. If you don't get him, shoot him a text or hit us on the high roller page. Then I promise you he will get to you as soon as possible. We don't want no voice, no words unspoken.
Right. And I think most people get it, because I understand. I counted my phone calls and texts yesterday. I'm in sales. I quit counting at 65 in one day. So I know you're taking that many, and people don't understand it's hard. I mean, especially after a big race and well as you've done, you cannot answer every call, every text that you get.
I've been a little bit quiet the last 2 days because I wasn't planning on going up to this race 2 or 3 days without any sleep, without any family time. So I kind of took off the last 2 days. I've touched base with a few over the last day or two, but I'll be back wide open in the shop in the morning in the office. So anybody that I haven't gotten to that sent me a message or even just a congratulations, anything, I will be getting back to you in the morning, and we'll get the ball back rolling and have parts and cars rolling out the door tomorrow.
Well, that's good. Justin, I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I know what you got a family and you're working 60, 70 hours a week and trying to race, and I appreciate you coming on board with us. Anybody has any questions to me about the class, I try to answer all of them. And if it's something I can't, I'll get a hold of Justin myself. But anybody got any questions, you can reach me at 479-461-7561. Usually text is better. Usually after 5 for me. My kids are grown. Is better, but a lot of times I can answer during the day. So anybody got any question on the class, signing up, what's it going to cover, whatever, get a hold of me. And you can sign up now at racelogic.vip. the class is up and running. And I'm telling you, we say it every year, it's going to sell out. Don't be the guy sitting out there wondering, I wish I would have. And I'll say this on as I'm leaving, if you can't pay for a little while, or I'll work with you. I want people there who want to be there. So get with me, and if you're serious about going, I'll get you seat saved. And if you can't pay for a few weeks or whatever, I want people there who want to be there. So just get signed up and get it done, because I've got 2 classes going right now, and I'm busy as well. And it's going to be here before you know it. I mean, we're already rolling into almost September, so it'll be around the corner. So everybody get signed up and get that done. And Justin, I appreciate it. Great run this weekend. I've seen a lot of that in my career, about 35 years, and I don't know if I've ever seen a show quite like that you put on. I mean, it was pretty damn impressive is all I can say about it.
Well, I appreciate it, man. We're just doing our thing, trying to make some money at the end of the night.
Justin, good seeing you. I'll catch up with you in a few days, and I appreciate everybody that jumped on tonight. Looked like we had a bunch online tonight, and we'll get together again maybe later on and kind of talk about the class and how many we got signed up and all.
Yeah, and like it just keeps coming across my brain there. If there's anyone that's in that area that's worried about anything that we will cover or won't cover, or vice versa, be looking towards the next time we get on here and ask some questions. If there's some things that you're worried about that we might not go over, I promise you, we'll go over it if it's something that needs to be touched on. And just like I said, just because our rules may be a little different doesn't scare us a bit. I promise you, we can find the answer or the solution to whatever you need.
Right. Yeah. And I think we talked a little bit. I think we're going to concentrate a little more this year on, front and rear suspension and setups. I think, we talked about, I think last year, a couple of things we didn't get to touch on. We really wanted to. So I think we're going to, spend a little bit more time this year doing some of that. So
yeah,
it'll be good. All right, Justin, get off there and go see that little boy. And I appreciate you.
Now.
See you soon, buddy.
All right, see you, man. Y'all take care.